Let's get ready to rumble! When it comes to video games, the World Wrestling Entertainment Group have been around for a very, very long time. Since 1987, in fact, which is about 100 in video game years, right? Something like that. So in honor of the release of WWE 2K17, I thought it might be a good idea to look back on those 30 years and see the fighting game in all its glory. Are you ready? The 1980s. 1987 saw the first release of a WWE-based video game called Micro League Wrestling. The cover art featured a scary, ethereal Hulk Hogan, and it's this image that we can take as proof that Hulk Hogan has always looked his current age. The game is otherwise known for being one of the only turn-based strategy wrestling games ever. Then in 1989 came the first WWE endorsed game for NES, WWF WrestleMania. If that confused you, you might want to note that the World Wrestling Entertainment Corp was once named the World Wrestling Federation, hence the WWF. This release was also shipped with a cover featuring Hulk Hogan, this time ripping his shirt. That was a really fun game. I had a party playing that game, Tombstone all the way. But the 80s weren't done yet. In the same year that WrestleMania hit the shelves, the arcade game WWF Superstars was released with playable characters Macho Man Randy Savage, The Ultimate Warrior, Big Boss Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, The Honky Tonk Man, and of course, Hulk Hogan. The 1990s. This decade saw a massive WWE boom. In 1990, the developers of Battletoads brought us the WWF WrestleMania Challenge, and 1991 saw the release of WWF WrestleMania for the Atari and Commodore 64, and WWF WrestleFest. 1992 was a killer thanks to its 4 WWE releases: WWF European Rampage Tour, WWF Superstars 2, WWF Super WrestleMania, and WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. Rhyme and alliteration were the true MVPs of 1993, as you might be able to get from WWF King of the Ring, WWF Rage in the Cage, and WWF Royal Rumble, the last of which being a game developed for the Super NES and Sega Genesis. 1994 had only one release, but it was a goodie: WWF Raw for the SNES and Sega Mega Drive Genesis. The game was the first release to feature mega moves for each individual wrestler, and also made use of tug-of-war physics to make player lockups part of the fun. Then in 1995 came another arcade game aptly named WWF WrestleMania The Arcade Game. And in 1996, makers of the first Mortal Kombat released WWF In Your House. Both the arcade game and In Your House incorporated arcade-like features like stages styled after wrestlers' characters. Yes, wrestling is cool. Jumping ahead to 1998, developers Iguana West released WWF Warzone, with a sequel brought out the following year titled WWF Attitude. Also in 1999 came WWF WrestleMania 2000, the first WWE game made by former industry big guns THQ. The 2000s. Finally, we hit the millennium. See, I wasn't lying when I said there were a lot of WWE games. There's a ton of them. And continuing in this tradition, the year 2000 did the series proud with a whopping 4 releases. These were WWF SmackDown, WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, WWF Royal Rumble, and WWF No Mercy. I'm not sure how anyone managed to release a video game and its sequel in 1 year, but they did, and they well done. I mean, that's something else. Not to be outdone, 2001 also had 4 titles: WWF Betrayal for the Game Boy Color, WWF Road to WrestleMania for the Game Boy Advance, with Authority, an online game for Windows, and WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It for PlayStation 2. 2002 brought us WWF Raw based on the popular TV series, WWE Road to WrestleMania X8, WWE SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, that's the name of the game, and it's not likely to be one of your parents' favorites, and WWF WrestleMania X8. In 2003, WWE WrestleMania XIX was launched exclusively for the Nintendo GameCube, and then came WWE Raw 2, Ruthless Aggression, WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, and WWE Crush Hour. These names are amazing! The last being a vehicular combat game made for the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. These names are amazing, man. They're insane. Creative geniuses. Nintendo and PlayStation remained WWE friendly in 2004 with WWE Day of Reckoning for the GameCube, the WWE Survivor Series for the Game Boy Advance, and WWE SmackDown vs. Raw for PlayStation 2. Released exclusively for the Nokia N-Gage. Do you guys remember those?
Take on your rivals on the new Engage QD.
Those were weird but cool. In 2005 came WWE Aftershock. 2005 also saw the release of Choose Your Path WWE Day of Reckoning 2, as well as WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 and WWE WrestleMania 21. 10 years ago, in 2006, the WWE game scene was #blessed with only one title, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. The 8th game in the SmackDown series, the release features a brand new analog control system and came out for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, and the Xbox 360. The game's successor, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, was the only release of 2007's gaming year. The next 3 titles in the SmackDown series came out in 2008, 2009, and 2010 respectively. The last of these, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, included new physics to allow players to use props like ladders more effectively than in previous games. 2011 brought the last SmackDown game with WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, but there were also 2 other WWE releases that year, WWE 12 and WWE All-Stars. WWE 12 was the first wrestling game made by publishers 2K, and WWE All-Stars brought legendary wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena together in the ring, making favorite with critics like Giant Bomb's Jeff Gertzman. What a legend, what a legend. In 2012 came WWE 13 with Mike Tyson as a playable character for pre-order. That's pretty sick. It was also the last WWE game to feature on Nintendo's consoles. 2013 had its focus on mobile with 2 iOS and Android releases, WWE Rockpocalypse and WWE John Cena's Fastlane. WWE 2K14 also hit shelves in 2013 with cover art depicting a hangry The Rock apparently about to eat his microphone, because that's what The Rock ingests on a diet. 2 years ago in 2014, the WWE had 2 licensed releases, one for mobile and one for consoles and PC. These were the collectible card game WWE Supercard and WWE 2K15, which tried to make a more realistic mode of wrestling through a chain wrestling minigame. Nice one, guys. Last year, we were graced with WWE 2K16 and WWE Immortals, a mobile game from NetherRealm Studios incorporating supernatural elements into play. That is balling. Finally, this year in 2016 came the aforementioned WWE 2K17. What does this title have in store for us? For starters, one heck of a roster. Players will be able to choose from a ridiculous lineup including John Cena, the Ultimate Warrior, Sasha Banks, and the McCohen family. You can also expect a killer soundtrack hand-curated by none other than P. Diddy, aka Puff Daddy. That wasn't enough to bring the 90s back. Right guys, that was it. We did it. Comment below with your favorite title. Mine was WWF WrestleMania for the Sega Mega Drive. I had to borrow it from a friend next door, and then eventually we bought a copy for ourselves. That was a really good game. I'm going to include links in the description below if you want to check out more WWE 2K17. If you want to pick yourself up a copy, go check out loot.co.za. I highly recommend doing that. They support and sponsor my channel, and it mean a lot to me if you go check them out. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite one? Please do it. Please, I need to know. I'll see you guys in the next video. I've got a couple of WWE videos coming out, so stay tuned for that. High five a stranger. Adios.